I've been greatly impressed by the counsel given to us by the leaders of the church relating to our temporal resources. I ponder often on counsel given to us by President Ezra Taft Benson many years ago, when he said that the revelation to store food may become as important to us in our day as the revelation was to board the ark in the time of the people of Noah. And that's a powerful idea. The idea that in the time of Noah, the people had to go onto the ark in order for their lives to be preserved from the floods. And in our own day and age, the idea of having a storehouse of resources, a storehouse of food and fuel and medicines and other resources that we need to sustain our lives in challenging times and circumstances may be very important to us in times of illness or times of job loss or times of famine or in times of natural disasters. These resources that we have may be beneficial to us and may preserve our lives. I'm also struck by the fact that President Gordon B. Hinckley said, I remember on one occasion very forcefully, he said to the priesthood brethren of the church, "Brethren, I urge you to look to the condition of your finances." And what he meant by that, of course, was to look to our situation, to see were we in debt and to get out of debt as circumstances would allow, and to the extent possible to reduce our debts and only go into debt for appropriate reasons, and to not live beyond our means. And what counsel that is, what great encouragement, that to live within our means, our temporal means, to live within our income, to live within our budget, to not spend more than we have, to not live consistently on borrowed credit that we would find difficult to pay back in circumstances that would be hard. And I'm particularly struck by that in this day and age when financial challenges are upon the world, and for various reasons that we all know about. The world is going through challenging circumstances economically, and it is important that the prophets have said to us, have a food storage, look to the condition of your finances, have your life in order from a temporal point of view. And I realize, of course, that that's a challenge, and there are always contingencies around this, but the principles are there to guide us, to strengthen us, to give us a sense of peace and comfort in the storm, a sense of calm when there is trouble. And I found that counsel to be very, very solid, to be sure counsel, that we pay our tithes and our offerings and that we're generous with the Lord. I have found it to be of great benefit that people have said to me, if you want to be blessed by the Lord, pay your tithes and offerings. But if you really want to be blessed by the Lord, pay your fast offerings. Be generous in your offerings. Bless the lives of the poor and the needy. And that's great counsel. As I've sought to follow that counsel, I have found the Lord has prospered me and blessed me in many ways. And I'm so grateful for that the windows of heaven have been opened to me, that He's provided for my needs, even on a day-to-day basis, for the necessities of life, that the Lord has prepared a way. He has given me unexpected miracles and blessings and temporal resources to meet my needs and the needs of my family, and to be in a position to help others. And that's been a great and wonderful blessing. And there are times when I have needed help and assistance, and to be able to receive that from the Lord and to be blessed by the Lord and His church and His people. What a blessing that the Lord doesn't want us to be in perpetual poverty. He wants us to grow and prosper. And the Book of Mormon promises that as we are faithful to the Lord, we will prosper in the land. And of course, I realize that doesn't always automatically imply that we're going to be rich or anything like that. But I do think what it means is that we will have sufficient for our needs, and we'll be positioned to take care of our demands and to have a supply that we can subsist upon, and also bless others in their time of need. And I've come to believe that as we're generous with the Lord and generous with our brothers and sisters, He is abundantly generous with us. He will bless us temporally. He will bless us to pay off our mortgages earlier than we would have without His help. He will bless us to gain food storage, even in small incremental ways over a period of time. He will bless us with the ability to save. He will bless us with the ability to take care of our medical needs, to take care of our insurance needs, to take care of all the temporal resources that we need, housing and food and clothing and shelter and materials and transportation and education. He will prosper us. He's the Lord of abundance. He's the Lord of prospering. It won't always be easy, and prophetic counsel is rarely, if ever, easy, but it is attached to a promise. It's a principle with a promise, that as we look to the condition of our finances with faith in the Lord, that as we look to our food storage, that as we look to our supplies and we seek to be faithful and honor the Lord and build up a storehouse of supplies that we can rely upon in time of need, then we will be blessed. We will be sustained. I and my family this month, we determined some time back that this month of May 2023, that we would live off the resources that we had in food storage, and that we wouldn't buy food items for this month. And we've been really blessed that we've been able to live off our food storage, just as a test, as an experiment, to see how that would work. And I feel so blessed that it's working bounteously. And I've also found that this month we've been blessed financially and spiritually in unforeseen ways. The Lord is so good. I'm so grateful for these great doctrines and principles, that the Lord's true church is concerned with our temporal resources in time and in eternity. The Lord wants to prosper us. Doesn't mean we're all going to be millionaires, but it does mean we're going to be benefited. We will have sufficient for our needs and some left over to bless and serve those who are in need in times of difficulty. I'm so grateful to belong to a church that teaches self-reliance, that teaches frugality, that teaches hard work and self-sacrifice and love of neighbour and compassion and work and service, and that we reach out to bless, to give, to offer, to strengthen, to uplift, to hold up others and to take care of their needs and to help them to take care of their needs, to educate them and to strengthen them so that they're not always reliant, but that we become self-reliant. We become more likely to be self-reliant because of the Lord, because of His focus on education, because of His focus on work, because of His focus on frugality and being prudential and living within our means, not spending more than we earn, and seeking to improve our lot. There's nothing wrong with this at all. These are blessings from the Lord, that He's given us an opportunity and ability to work by the sweat of our brow in whatever capacity we do. We can, and He blesses us abundantly, bounteously, far more than we could ever be blessed without His help. He multiplies our efforts. He adds incrementally and exponentially to whatever we do. The scriptures are true. The oil shall not be wasted, as in that promise I'm referring to, the widow of Zarephath. That was a great promise, and it is my experience that as we rely on the Lord, we come out of famine into abundance. He will bless us, and I'm so grateful to live in a time when we have that prophetic counsel, to live frugally and prudentially, to be wise in our expenditures, to not go into debt unless it's for very important purposes such as housing and education and transportation and things like that, but to live within our means, to be a wise people. I'm so grateful for those marvelous, marvelous principles. I love the Lord, and I love his doctrines of truth.